Alrighty, so we are going to review today how to solve equations. This is something you should have worked on last year, and we worked on a little bit in our linear function unit, okay? I think it's a skill that we all need to work on mastering a little bit more because it's something you'll see all throughout high school, okay? You want to be pros at solving equations. It will save you some time and effort in the future, okay? So, how we go about solving equations, I liked this little mnemonic I learned last year, is don't call me after midnight, okay? And the D stands for distribute. The C stands for combine like terms. I'm just going to put an LT so I don't have to write it out. You know, mathematicians, they can be lazy. M stands for move your variable. Remember, your variable is the letter that is in the equation. A is add or subtract. And M is multiply or divide. Okay? So these are the steps we are going to take. We are going down this row. We're going to distribute, combine like terms, move your variable, add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Depending on our equation, we may not do all of these steps. We may skip a step, okay? Like for a one-step equation, we're either going to do adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing. For a two-step, we will do both. But for multi-step, we could do all of these, okay? So our first equation that we are going to solve is this one. 7 parentheses 5a minus 4 minus 1 equals 14 minus 8a. Okay. So this is a multi-step equation that we need to solve, okay? So we are going to go through step by step our don't call me after midnight method. If you would like, pause the video, try to solve it on your own, and then check your work with what we did, okay? I recommend that you do that. So the first step is to distribute. So that's what we're going to do first because we have parentheses. So distribute means that everything outside my parentheses needs to be multiplied by everything inside. So this is telling me I have 7 groups of 5a minus 4. It's another way to look at it, okay? So I need to multiply my 7 by 5a and by my negative 4. Be careful you're not multiplying it by this negative 1, okay? It's not in the parentheses, okay? So just ignore it for right now. So 7 times 5a plus 7 times negative 4. And we're just going to bring down that negative 1, okay? And everything on the right-hand side of our equal sign can come down because we didn't do anything to it. There was no distributing that I needed to do on the right-hand side. So 7 times 5a is 35a. 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. Minus 1 equals 14 minus 8a. So I simply just simplified this to get it into its new form, okay? So we did the distributing, we distribute. Now we need to combine our like terms. Like terms are when we have more than one constant or number on one side of our equation, or we have more than one variable, okay? So right now I only have one variable, but I do have 2 constants, so I can combine these, okay? I don't have more than one constant or variable on this side, so I'm just going to bring down what was left. Okay, so when I come, and I'll bring down my 35a. Oops. When I do negative 28 minus 1, I get negative 29. Okay, so this is what I get when I combine my like terms. I now move on to the M phase, which is move your variable. And we're going to move our variable by doing either addition or subtraction. I like to move my variable that's on the right over to the left. You could do either way, you will get the same answer. But I was always told move from the right to the left. So that's what is ingrained in me. So that's what we're going to do. So we have a negative 8a. In order to move it to the other side, I need to do its inverse operation. So what is the opposite of subtracting? That's adding. So I need to add 8a. By doing that, I get an opposite pair, which equals 0, which is what I want. I want these to become a 0. But because I add 8a to this side, I need to also do it to this side because of the property of equality, which is all about keeping equations balanced. So my 8a's go away. I'm left with 14. I can bring down my equal sign. I can bring down my negative 29 because I didn't do anything to it. And now I have 35a plus 8a, which ends up being 43a. Okay, we're done with the moving stage. We moved our variable, and now we're going to look at our constant, which has to be either added or subtracted. So right now I have a negative 29. So I have a minus 29. I'm subtracting 29. The opposite would be to add 29. So I add 29 to both sides. Because of what property? The property of equality. It will be on your test. I'm telling you, they love to ask you what property goes on, and they love inverse operations, mentioning it, and the property of equality, okay? So I have a 0 pair right here. I have opposites, so this becomes 0, and I'm left with 43a equals, and when I add these two up, I get 43. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Last step is multiply or divide. When I have a 43 attached to my variable like that, that means there's multiplication going on. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide by 43. 43 divided by 43 is just 1a, or you can just put a, equals, and what does it equal? 43 divided by 43? 1. Okay, so we just found our solution. Let me label this as our solution or our answer, okay? We distributed, we combined like terms, we moved our variable using inverse operations and the property of equality, we added and subtracted, we multiplied or divide, okay? We got one more. Here's the next one for you. 6r plus 7 equals 13 plus 7r. Okay. Do we have parentheses? No, we do not. So we do not distribute. Do we have more than one r term or more than one number on the left side? Nope. Do I have more than one number or variable on the right? Nope. So I can't combine like terms. So I skipped over the first two steps. It's good to have a little checklist on the side. You can write DCMAM on the side and just check off, okay? All right, M, we can do M because there's two variables. So I always say move from right to left. So I'm going to get rid of my plus 7r. And to do that, I need to do the inverse operation. So the opposite of adding is subtracting, so minus 7r. When I do that, I get a 0 pair because they're opposites, and I bring down what's left, which is just the 13. Okay, I didn't do anything to the 7, so I can bring that down as well. Now I need to simplify this, 6r minus 7r. Okay, so one's positive, one's negative. I look to see the sign in front of the 6 is positive, the sign in front of the 7 is negative. 7 is obviously bigger than 6, so I keep my negative sign in my answer. So it's going to be negative, and then I do 7 minus 6, and that's 1, so negative 1r plus 7 equals 13. So we moved our variable. Can we do the add and subtract stage? Yes, because we have a constant right here. So we can do that. I have a plus 7. I want to get rid of it. I want to make it a 0. So we need to find its opposite. The opposite of plus 7 is minus 7. My 7's cancel out, and I'm left with negative 1r equals 13 minus 7, which is 6. Now, you may have watched the solving inequalities video beforehand. This is not an inequality. We do not need to flip the sign, okay? If this was an inequality because there's a negative coefficient in front of our variable, we would flip the sign. But an equal sign does not flip into anything else, okay? So it just stays this, and we divide by negative 1. Okay, and we get r equals 6 divided by negative 1 is simply negative 6. Good. You can check your work by plugging in negative 6 where you see r. So we do 6 times negative 6 plus 7 equals 13 plus 7 times negative 6. And if we get the same answer on both sides, then we know we did it right. All right. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on this and we can practice more together. You should leave a comment after this video about what you learned. Just a little summary, something you found interesting, something that you might still be confused with. And you can comment as well of another video that you would find helpful. All right, have a great rest of your day. I miss you all. Bye.